Yeah, back again, Justice MSC. Like I told you, we've done foreign affairs, and we said foreign affairs, we believe that it should go to Hannah Tete, but the choice lies with Mahama. This is finance. If you've not watched the foreign affairs video, please, you can watch it. This is finance. Finance, we think it should go to Dr. Hazel Atuforsen, and we'll give you our reasons. But like I said, we are taking the fee from the background Paul Adumatri gave. And like I said, Paul Adumatri as a person, he's solid. His knowledge and his intelligence and his understanding of politics and media, you can't take it from him. But our only problem with him is his biasness towards the MPP. Yes, once you are listening and he's doing those things, just listen to those things and take it out, and just listen to the objective part. All right, sure. Okay.
That President Mahama is having sleepless nights about. Now, finance is so important. This afternoon, Mohamed Amin Anta, the outgoing finance minister, said boldly and confidently that the MPP was leaving the Ghanaian financial state in a good situation. 2-3 days ago, it was published that the economy is growing at 7 point something post-COVID, and that's significant. That's phenomenal. Well, as we always say, we don't feel it in our pocket, but the statistics are showing something. Hopefully, we'll feel it in our pocket soon. So, whoever comes into the finance ministry is critical in terms of the success of President Mahama's 4-year term. Now, that person would have to inherit an IMF program. The IMF program is on until December 2026. In that year, Ghana would have to make an argument that we're getting out of the IMF. But a very smart finance minister can have ways in which he can renegotiate the IMF program and exit earlier. It happened in 2017 with Ken Ofori-Atta, who exited the IMF program earlier than was anticipated when the NDC government inherited an IMF program from the NDC. Now, the president is going to make a choice. Who is he going to make the choice for? What appears to be very obvious is Hazel Atuforsen. Why is that obvious? Hazel Atuforsen is coming from a background as a minister of state, also a deputy minister of finance, or a minister of state. I think he's a minister of state at the Ministry of Finance. That's Atuforsen. That's where he's coming from. He has a PhD in that from KNUST. He has been in the 2017, 18, 19. He was the ranking member for the finance committee. He was the leading NDC person on the finance committee, isn't it? So Atuforsen, he's been talking about finance and economy a lot. During the e-levy processes, he championed the agenda against the e-levy. Most of the taxes that government have introduced in the parliament, he's championed the narrative against it. So he, Atuforsen, has had a lot of information about the recent past financial dealings at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning and the Bank of Ghana. So he comes across as the easiest and obvious choice, isn't it? He then became majority leader going into the election, and one of the reasons that was given for him to be majority leader, according to Johnson Asili, the chairman of the party, was that Atuforsen understands finance, and the problem that Ghanaians are confronting now is the problem of finance. Okay, so Forsen appears to be the obvious, easy choice. But hold on. The choice of Ministry of Finance, and I have a personal experience with this, it's a choice of the president's personal relationship with somebody who understands finance, who can look after the finance for the president. Now, I learned this very early. I learned this lesson very early in my journalism and news reporting career in 2001. I was having a conversation in those days with a very senior MPP person. I'm not going to mention his name. I'm sure when I start the story, he will know. And I was telling him after the event of during the frenzy of the Kufuor victory of the second round of election 2000, I was asking him, those of us who were young at that time, 20 something, we were very excited by people who came from abroad and were speaking slangs, Kofi Wayo, Kofi Kunodo Apriku, and were talking the politics against Rawlings and all that. We were very excited about those things. So Kofi Kunodo Apriku excited all of us with his pungent analysis, sharp shooting, his sound bites. When you're a journalist in those days, Apriku always give you a sound bite. He gave me an important sound bite in the 2000 election and made me very famous in the Joy newsroom. When I put the microphone to him, he told me, and I was asking him about the budget. The budget had just been presented by Kwame Pepra sometime in March of 2000, the election year. And I asked Apriku that, he was a spokesperson for finance. I asked him that, what do you think about the budget? And he said, it's a lame duck budget from a lame duck government. I think if you Google it, it will come. And then quickly I published it, and it became a big thing for him. Next time he saw me, patted me on my shoulder and said, that was a good story, isn't it? So Kofi Kunodo Apriku was there. Then I asked this important person that, when Kofi Kunodo Apriku became finance minister, we spoke in Tree. He looked at me and said, Kola Dumoche, what you say, Kola? What did he say? I looked at him confused. Nobody had asked me before. I must have been 26 or something. I told him my age. He laughed. I said, what you say, Kola? Now, Jay Kufuor, a winning presidency, Apriku, finance minister. And I was confused about what he was saying. I said, but why? Why not? He's a spokesperson. He said, no. Finance minister is not chosen like that. Finance minister is chosen by the president for somebody that he is his person. Proper person. That's how they choose finance minister. Tony Blair, Gordon Brown. You look at it, Kwame Nkrumah, Komla Gbedema. Buzia, J.H. Mensah. You look at it, Achampon, Don Kofojo. So people choose people to be finance minister who are their person. Perhaps you can say about Rawlings, who really didn't quite do that. He just had Kwesi Boche there. Kwesi Boche was not his person. He didn't quite know him, but he allowed him to roll because other people were supervising Kwesi Boche, etc., etc. But so from that day, I understood it. Then when Osafo Mafu became finance minister, in my news reporting, I observed the discomforts from the center relating to Osafo Mafu. When Ban Redu became, I observed the tenacity and how Ban Redu was held onto by the center, and the center held onto him. You could tell that it was a real romantic relationship between the president and his finance minister. We have not forgotten Akufo-Addo and Ken Ofori-Atta. So given that context, who here is the one that you will pick as John Dramani Mahama's person Atuforsen, yes, to some extent. Andani here, Andani is the MD of Stanbic. We all know him very well. He's contributed a lot to the Ghanaian financial industry and institutions. Andani is great. Andani here, yes. But if you take up these three people, the person that is John Mahama's person is Nashiru. So what's going to happen? I don't know. But this is the choice that confronts the president right now. Is he going to go? If he doesn't go for Kesel Atuforsen, he would have let a lot of people down. There are a lot of interest standing behind Atuforsen. And these interests are typically interests that have manifestly supported the NDC in opposition. Some are businessmen, some are parliamentarians, some are party executives, some are regional executives. For all of these people, Atuforsen is their man. When you move the political analysis to the northern region, to Tamale, Nashiru will be the man. Now let me tell you something, and I know this. Most of the NDC events that was held in the northern region, northeast and all of that, Tamale and all of that, and the crowds appear, even some...
All right, so friends, with all that has been said, we are clear in our mind that Dr. Kesel Atuforsen is the guy, because you see, like I said, JM has just 4 years, so this is not the time to do Matra Makwe. If JM had 8 years, then you can bring a new face or something. So you bring someone who has been there before, like a deputy, like Dr. Kesel Atuforsen. He was also the ranking member for finance in parliament, and when they were about to enter this election, they did some changes in parliament and made him the leader of the minority, which is the NDC, because their chairman Sedin Kitia said that this particular election is about the economy, so they needed somebody with an economic background to lead. So for this particular one, I think Dr. Atuforsen is the guy. If they want to make Andani the Stanbic guru, a deputy, that's fine, but I doubt if they will do that, because mind you, Mahama said he was going to do system minister, so he also does not have the luxury of doing a lot of deputies like other governments have done. So people have also tipped Andani to be the head of BOG, and with his background and his banking experience, he can do that. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, so but for me, the finance minister, I think Atuforsen. But in the absence of Atuforsen, the question is who becomes the leader. Definitely it cannot be Haruna Idrisu. That leads us to our next one. Who will be the speaker? You understand? It cannot be Haruna Idrisu because he has been there before, so it's like bringing him back. No, the energy will not be there. So maybe a new person in the absence of Dr. Kesel Atuforsen. And he has shown that he wants to put Ghana first. Through this last years, he's one of the young guys that I have a lot of respect for. You understand? Having knowledge is one thing, like Paul Adumachi, but being being patriotic and putting your nation first is another, and I think Dr. Kesel Atuforsen has it. Justice MSC Canada, let me know what you think. Let's go to the speaker.